So I have three things to tell you about anxiety, some of which may surprise you a little bit. The first thing I want you to know is that anxiety is not something external. It's not a pathogen. It's not something that you can catch or get, or even something that's out to get you. It's an internal process. It's something that we do. And this is actually great news because now that we know it's something that we do, we can also learn to do it differently. We have the power to change it, to learn a different process. And this is kind of the number one belief that, in my experience, we need to adopt in order to treat anxiety successfully. Because as long as we believe that it's something external, or that's something that's something that comes from outside of us, then we don't really have a lot of power over it. The second important thing is that anxiety is just a medicalized term for a particular flavor of the emotion of fear. Fear is something that's completely normal. It's a natural emotion and it's an essential part of our human experience. The purpose of fear is to keep us safe. It's to keep us alive. Because if we had no healthy fear, we would get ourselves killed in no time, or we would risk things we're not willing to lose. Although when we talk about anxiety, we talk about a fear that comes up at times when it's not really needed. We're not actually in any real danger. Fear lives in the body. It's a physical nervous system response. You know, that fight or flight or freeze response that can actually be measured. Thirdly, and I've saved the best one for last, the brilliant self-healing system that our body is, it already has an inbuilt mechanism for releasing the stress and the trauma and emotional charge, including, of course, the fear and anxiety. It's just that we've learned to suppress it. So if you have kids, you'll know that young children will release emotions pretty freely. They, not always so elegantly, but they let it rip, and then a minute later, it's gone. They're happy as Larry again. As we grow up, we begin to suppress our emotions because we probably weren't encouraged to show them so freely when we're growing up. We don't want to feel what we're feeling. We don't want to show other people what we're feeling. So we tighten our muscles and we restrict our breathing and we bite our lip and we hold back our tears. But this way, the system doesn't get that release that it needs. So remember, it's ready to fight or flee. It's that intensity of that pent-up emotional energy, and the stress hormones will build up inside us, kind of like a pressure cooker. And then it can blow up at unexpected times and unexpected ways, like anxiety or panic attacks that seem to come out of nowhere. How does the body actually naturally release? So when you see young kids having these big emotions, they breathe in this specific kind of way, quite intensely, without pauses. They may cry, even shake or kick and scream. And these different breathing patterns, and tears and shaking or tremoring or physical movements, release that emotional charge and the stress hormones from the body. So the pressure, kind of the intensity, goes down. And in the conscious connected breathwork, we use this natural mechanism for releasing stress and trauma and emotional charge. And the results are nothing short of miraculous. Of course, we don't want to be having tantrums in the supermarket like a 3-year-old, but we can let it out simply by mimicking that specific way of breathing that the body naturally does when we allow ourselves to feel without tightening when we suppress. And we do it in a safe, controlled environment with the guidance of an experienced practitioner who will hold space for that deep level feeling and releasing to happen.